Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk is going to release the Twitter files, the internal dialogue within Twitter among the content moderation team and among top officials who worked alongside Democrats, by the way, House Democrats, to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story. They did so because that story, what Hunter and Joe and people around them were doing, entails graft, felonies, criminal activity. Okay? That's why they suppressed the story. That's why Democrats don't think it's that big of a deal, because they're the ones obtaining hundreds of millions of dollars through very corrupt means. And the emails, Hunter's emails, showed categorically that these were essentially graft and potential bribery schemes. Okay, you have emails from the New York Post stating, asking Hunter how can you use your influence on the company's behalf. Then you have people thanking Hunter for meetings that he brokered when they met Joe. These were business deals where Joe was a part. Our current president, Mashed Potato Brains, was a part of these business deals. Okay, he lied about that. You know, when Democrats react in utter indignation when Trump lies, well, Biden's lies are grandiose, not about crowd size or anything else like that. These are like, you don't need the Washington Post to tally 10,000 Biden lies and, focus on semantics or hyperbole the way they did with Trump. When Democrats say things that aren't true, it's about like hundreds of millions of dollars in money flowing into businesses and corporations that are run by the president's son and the former vice president's son. And within those emails, he's getting 10% of the cut. 10% for the big man. Who was the big man? It was Joe. This is not difficult to understand. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand this, although Musk has a lot of rocket scientists working with him. But anyway, you're going to see now the unfiltered release of the Twitter files. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, the Stock Market Crash channel. And also, I should have a live stream later tonight. I was going to have a live stream on AOC, who's under investigation. It's actually a criminal investigation because there are campaign finance issues, huge campaign finance issues. We're not even getting to FTX. She might have taken some of the $70 million that FTX, that SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and FTX gave to Democrats. According to Elon Musk, it's $1 billion that's undisclosed. Okay, but they outspent Republicans by a great margin because of FTX. But see, we're not even talking about AOC has a lot of other issues. She's had campaign finance issues for years that have she's basically circumvented the law. According to one former FEC chairman, Hans A. von Spakovsky, he actually wrote about that in Fox News in 2019. And I quoted his article in my last segment. So I was going to do a live stream on that, but I'll probably do a live stream later this evening at around 9 p.m. or so, 8:30, 9 p.m. Pacific. So be here for the live stream. Hit subscribe right now. So James Baker worked for Comey at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He was part of the Steele dossier being introduced into the Bureau. He was also part of the Alpha Bank saga, where a Clinton attorney duped him, or I should say lied to him via text message, said that he wasn't meeting James Baker, the top legal counsel at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, for any other purpose than to just show him Alpha Bank information or information about a Moscow bank that Trump could have communicated with. Okay, it was all fabricated also. Sussman, the attorney, circumvented indictment because the jury did not believe that anyone at the Bureau was duped. He did lie to Baker within a text message, but the jury wasn't able to utilize that text message because of a procedural misstep. So he got out of it. But categorically, the Clinton attorney did lie, and there were two absurd, false categorically false. You talk about information that misinforms. This is false information leveled at Trump, and media had a field day with both the Steele dossier and the server allegations. Both issues Mr. Baker was a part of in some manner. And when he left the Federal Bureau of Investigation, he was under criminal investigation for a moment, according to CNN. When he left, he then joined Twitter. Then what took place is eventually the Hunter laptop story gets suppressed, and he's part of this as well. Anyway, now he's fired, and Jack Dorsey wants Elon Musk to release everything without filter. The interesting thing about Dorsey is that he seems to be now, like, he seems to have turned a corner. The only problem, however, is that he was running Twitter when all of this was happening and when they suspended the New York Post. Matt Taibbi and others have made it very clear, or they've emphasized that they don't believe that Jack Dorsey had anything to do with suppressing the Hunter story. I don't have any knowledge to disagree with them, but I would find it very suspicious to believe. I don't believe that the person who was running Twitter could be influenced by middle management or by managers below him. I think that he knew exactly what was going on. And this, like, for example, if indeed he had no part of it, if the people below him suspended the New York Post, he should have he should have reversed that suspension immediately. But he didn't. So the Twitter files, like, the first round shows categorically the government did get involved. House Democrats through a third-party tech firm did influence officials at Twitter. And the public relations, maybe it's a polling firm. They wrote a very, very influential letter stating that, you're going to get investigated, and House Democrats and even Republicans don't want any interference, and they don't want what 50 intel officials are saying, working also on at the behest of the U.S. government or government agencies or loyalists within the U.S. government. It's not difficult. What Democrats and what government officials are going to do, they're not going to write a letter saying, we are the United States government, please go ahead and stop this story from being released. House Democrats will utilize a third-party public relations firm or polling firm to write a very stern letter to officials who are already lifelong liberal Democrats or far left or socialists or communists or whatever. Okay? And then they'll say, oh my goodness, it could be the work of another country hacking Hunter's laptop. Well, of course, that never happened, and even Twitter officials in round one of the Twitter files knew that. So you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where round two will probably show even greater coordination between government officials in Congress, government officials elsewhere, former intel officials who still have security clearance, and they're still, like, in many ways they can be viewed as proxies of certain government agencies, or at least of the Democratic Party, or at least of House Democrats. I mean, the political side and the legal side, they could be two different issues. Politically, Democrats got exactly what they want. Politically, Democrats in power, and the incoming president, so he was the nominee, but he was a former vice president. Okay, so you have a situation where it wasn't just a private entity that decided to not publish hacked materials. The situation is that it was influenced by people within the government, whether it's House Democrats or former intel officials, and they were more than willing to suppress a story that would make people vote for Trump. The truth about the Democratic Party makes people vote for Trump. Now, recently, I think Trump is losing some of that electricity, steam, energy. I do think that DeSantis could eventually overtake him. I really do. And DeSantis would be unstoppable. And whereas if it's a primary, I'm picking Trump over DeSantis, I do acknowledge that DeSantis is unstoppable. And there's a reason for that somewhat irrational viewpoint. But anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'll have a live stream tonight at around 9 p.m. Pacific. And I'll have another upload in a couple of hours. Be here. Thank you. Oh, I had a live stream on AOC's investigation criminal probe, but I'll postpone that, and we'll have a live stream tonight on the release of round 2 of the Hunter Twitter files. Thank you.